Like the guys that I ran across during my travels who used to be some of the baddest fighters came out of Rahway, Earl Best out of New Jersey, Brother Abdullah, he was called, Hank Shields, who they said was a monster in Rahway, used to spar with James Scott and them, and I crushed him. You know, he stopped, he couldn't go past the second round. I whipped Yaya twice out of Philadelphia. All these guys claim they used to spar with James Scott and Rahway. And now little Russell Bombs, Kareem out of Philly, he could fight, but he was a small fighter. And he used to, him and brothers used to run together every day in Atlanta, but he used to spar with me. Our homie, Babe Bruh, that was a Muslim. He come up with Beanie and them uptown. I know him from Maple Glen. He used to box pretty well in them. And he used to box with Abdullah and all Yaya and all them brothers. But the main thing we have to get on record is Brother Shaheed out of New Jersey, who used to watch me and know me from since I was 21 years old. And every joint we been, he watched me. And after he seen me spank Yaya and break his nose, he called his brother Murad Muhammad and said, "Hey man, there's a brother here should be out of prison, man. We got to get him out." He said, "Man, this is the best thing I done seen." So what he did, Murad Muhammad had worked out an agreement with the director of the D.C. Department of Corrections and the federal system for me to come back to turn pro, which I eventually did in 1981, and I became the first professional fighter in Lorton to turn pro in Lorton. Me, Jack Johnson, and Darren Reese, we signed our contract the same day. Murad Muhammad was our promoter, who used to be a former bodyguard for Muhammad Ali, and he was the one who started the program in Rahway with James Scott and Dwight Kwawi Muhammad and them. When Dwight Kwawi came out of prison, he signed with Murad Muhammad and became the light heavyweight champion of the world. Came to visit me. Murad Muhammad brought him down to visit me so he could support me with my career. And they had a 5-year program. If I win my first 15 fights, I'll go to Rahway and fight James Scott, who is number 10 in the world. So
this guy Yaya, I heard a lot about this guy over the years. Can you explain to me where you encountered this dude, what his fight record is?
Yaya was in Lewisburg with me and used to watch me. He always had a reputation for being one of the best fighters out of Philly. Used to watch me train in Lewisburg, then we was in Atlanta together. But once we got to Leavenworth, we had a dispute because when Sugar Ray Leonard, we beat Wilfred Benitez for the title, all the homies out of D.C. was rooting for him. So when James Scott fought Yaki Lopez, Baby Rez and Lonnie asked me what I think about James Scott. I said I could whip him. So Yaya didn't like me saying that. So Yaya eventually came outside one day and seen me and Roughhouse and Baby Rez shaking out and called me out. He had all the Muslims with him, and all D.C. was together. So the first time he called me out, I knocked his teeth out and knocked him down about 5 times, so they stopped him. 30 days later, he came in the kitchen, asked me for some get back. Give me a little work this time.
Hold on, so was this in the ring or was this street fighting in the prison? How was this done?
Bad gloves with paper towels in their mouth. That's how we used to fight back then when we boxed dudes from other spots. Whoever was the baddest from wherever you from, you wanted to see the bad. I was the baddest thing out of D.C. Earl Coleman, Bass, Sonny Bel-Air, White Man. All the homies used to love to see me fight because White Man trained me. And Roughhouse used to be with me and bros down Lorton. Roughhouse was a beast. That was Cadillac's partner. But anyway, the second time he called me out, Earl Coleman Bay and them, all the homies, we went up to the gym on the platform, and this was his rematch. I broke his nose in the second round, and he went and told the people I broke his nose. They locked me up. Then they tried to lock him up, put him in a cell with Big Lulu. Lulu said, "You can't come up in here." So he eventually got transferred. But Shaheed Muhammad was so fascinated with the way I whipped his homies, he called his brother Murad Muhammad and say, man, this brother should be in the street, man. He should be the champion of the world. I ain't seen nobody can fight like this. This is how I came in contact with Murad Muhammad, who eventually became my promoter and started the program in Lorton the same way they had in Rahway. I had a 5-year deal from Marion and Department of Corrections to give me an institutional time cut so I could fight in the street from over minimum and go to Atlantic City, fight from the street. My 15th fight post been on Sports World on NBC with James Scott. They was gonna take me up Rahway, New Jersey to fight James Scott since Murad Muhammad had him and me and Dwight Kwawi under contract. But after my 11th fight, I was 11-0 as a pro, 9 knockouts, 2 decisions. But I got stabbed, and that killed my boxing career because the guy who stabbed me subsequently got murdered. I don't know how he got murdered. But anyway, the guy who was my enemy, the social warden, Bill Plout, he canceled my career because he was always jealous that Marion Bird and the D.C. Boxing and Wrestling Commission gave me a license to turn pro. So there's a copy of my license in the D.C. government. The D.C. Council came to see me fight. Marion Bird came to see me fight. They brought pros over from all over the country.
What kind of pros?
Like heavyweight pros.
What names?
Richard Lee, he was a pro. The guy from Big Duke Johnson, he knocked out Terry Stab in the first round. He called me out. Our homie Tim Blue Mosley, he was 13 in the world. I broke his jaw. Ham brought him down. Ham was mad I broke his jaw. Leon Middleton, he fought 2 world champions. I beat him so bad I put him in the hospital. He out of D.C., Leon Middleton. They just called him Smokey. There's so many guys they used to bring down to see. Dave Jacobs and Adrian Davis, they brought pros down. Lord Darrell Smith, who was a local pro and used to be a headliner of Atlantic City. Lord Honeyboy Taylor, Tommy Lay, Curtis Smith Bay, who fought for Finley. You know, both these was local fighters. And our little homie, what's Tommy Lay brother, middleweight, man, he was like that. He come out of Lorton too, went home, turned pro. I'll give you his name later on, but he was like that. So I had a lot of support from the community and all the gyms in D.C. I used to call Ham Finley, Adrian Davis, Dave Jacobs, who trained Sugar Ray Leonard. All of them came down, especially when Dwight Kwawi Muhammad came down to see me. That was one of the biggest events in Lorton. The light heavyweight champion of the world came down to give me support. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, who was a light heavyweight champion, lost his title to Michael Spinks. He used to support me. We stayed in touch. So I had a lot of support, but I wanted to take this light heavyweight title. I never thought Michael Spinks could whip me. I always thought, even the homies used to spar me and say, Michael Spinks can't whip you. But I wanted to fight Eddie Mustafa Muhammad because we had similar styles. But when Dwight Kwawi came down to see me in April 1982 and see me in that ring, he said, James Scott can't whip you, man. We got to get you out so you can get you a belt.